We see a decorated Special Forces soldier involuntarily discharged from the military after testing positive for steroids. In his defense, he was using them to deal with a knee injury and the pain that came with it. The board also brings up an issue with his lungs, but he says he's done 4 combat rotations in 5 years with those lungs, so he's still fit enough. He tells them he wants to stay with the team, even with his medical problems. But the new commanding officer doesn't agree with the choices he's made, so the decision is final. He's out of the military, and without any pension or medical benefits. As he walks out of the building, he stops to salute the flag along with the other soldiers. Back home, he explains everything to his wife. He tells her the drugs in his system were for his bad knee. Earlier, the military didn't do such deep blood tests, but the new commander follows the rules strictly. Their son is there too, quietly watching them talk. Well, today we're recapping the 2022 action thriller movie, The Contractor. Stay tuned, and don't forget to like and subscribe to see more recaps. The next day, the Sergeant James finds out that debt collectors have been calling. They're offering a payment plan, but it comes with high interest. He's not too happy about that. He tells his wife, Brienne, there's real money in private contracting, but she reminds him he already promised not to go down that road. That night, he gets some sad news. One of his close friends, Mason, has passed away. His wife says she can't take another funeral. She's been to too many already. She also asks why he was fixing the roof in the middle of the night. She wants to know if he's really okay. He says he is, but she doesn't believe it. She says Mason also told his wife he was okay, and look what happened. She admits she's scared. He tells her he's not his father. We then see a memory. He's younger, getting a tattoo of the American flag on his arm. It was a birthday gift from his dad, who was also a soldier. At the funeral, he and his friend Mike share a few light moments remembering Mason.
How do you figure they shoved his giant butt into that grave?
He's wearing a thong.
He asks how Mason died, but doesn't get a straight answer. He's relieved to hear Mason's family is getting the full payout. Later, he visits Mike again and brings up private work. Mike tells him to go for it. He needs a proper paycheck. They both have the training, so why not use it? Mike works for a solid company. He knows people, and at this level, no one's checking blood tests. If you can complete the mission, that's what matters. He agrees to join. Mike takes him to a ranch to meet the team. The place is secure and well guarded. He's introduced to a man named Rusty, who runs things and already has his file open. Rusty talks straight. He says the military takes everything from soldiers and then throws them out. No support, no care. Many of them deal with fear, anger, confusion, feeling like they've been abandoned. Rusty understands what men like him, and even Mason, went through. He even mentions that his dad probably felt the same way. But he doesn't want to talk about his father. Rusty says the only thing they have left is their name. That's why this team was built. Everyone here still has their reputation, and they protect it. Rusty tells James he could join a top-tier private outfit and earn real money, but he warns some of those jobs come with a heavy conscience. On the other hand, Rusty's company offers cleaner work. The pay's decent and the missions matter. His firm runs under direct presidential authority and deals with national security threats. They operate quietly, import, export intelligence, and only show their teeth if they have to. Rusty brings up a situation brewing in Berlin. It's a serious national security risk. Mike will be leading the mission, and it's strictly off the books. No official clearance. Full black ops. Rusty hands James a $50,000 advance and promises his wife and son will be taken care of while he's away. Soon after, James hides his bike key in a parking lot and heads out. He gears up, boards a flight to Berlin, and gets picked up by a local contact named Katya. She quickly brings him up to speed. The target is a virologist named Salim. His lab is located about 40 kilometers outside the city. Katya says this isn't just a routine surveillance gig. The threat level is high. Category A. Potential bioterrorism. She tells James there's a car waiting for him nearby. He grabs the keys, leaves the safe house, and gets to work. The mission starts. James begins monitoring Salim's every move. Day and night, he stays on watch. He memorizes the gate pin code, watches the animals being delivered to the lab for experiments. Then one day, Salim uses a payphone. James listens in as the professor says the test results are promising, but he suspects there's a mole on his team. He warns the person on the other end that they could all be in danger. The next morning, James receives a message. He's told to leave his post and head to a new safe house. There, he reunites with Mike and the rest of the team. Their gear has also arrived, safe and sealed. Mike gives them the briefing. The target Salim studies dangerous strains of the influenza virus. His research is funded by a charity that's known to have ties with Al-Qaeda. They've got the building layout from someone on the inside. But there's a catch. They'll need the guard's fingerprint to open any doors. The plan is quick and clean. Get in, grab the target, ask the necessary questions, and exfil through the backwoods. A German contact will be waiting, and from there, it's a straight run to the airfield. Their plane will be ready. The team changes into unmarked black gear. They check their mics using call signs, then head out. They're dropped off near the outer edge of the forest, close to the facility. Quietly, they take down the security guard and use his fingerprint to access the building. The clock starts ticking.
7 minutes.
Room by room, they sweep through the place. No one resists. They locate Salim, secure him, and begin the interrogation. He answers their questions, but he denies any involvement in bioterrorism. Meanwhile, one of the agents digs through the lab's computer and pulls research data. Then comes the warning. Berlin police are on their way. The team alerts Rusty at the ranch. He doesn't hesitate. He tells them to activate Code X.
Codex.
All the way?
All the way.
Code X means they fake an accident, clean the place out, then burn it down. They grab the laptops, the samples, and Mike tells James to bring Salim. While they're moving, Salim pleads with James. He says he's a scientist, not a terrorist. His work, he claims, could save millions of lives. James tells him to pray if he needs to, but Salim replies,
I don't believe in God, I believe in science.
He tells James about a safety deposit box where he's hidden a backup of all his data. He begs James to help preserve it, says the world will need it. James doesn't say a word. He injects Salim with something that knocks him out cold. Then, James quietly cuts the zip ties from Salim's wrists. One of the agents rigs the fuse box to short. Another pours accelerant across the lab floor. When it's ready, someone pushes the plug into place. The fire catches instantly and starts spreading fast. The team walks out, mission done. James and the team head to the meeting point where Katia is waiting, but just as they arrive, Berlin police swarm in. Gunfire breaks out instantly. The team returns fire, and the scene turns chaotic. Several German officers go down, but the team isn't untouched. One of their own gets hit. Then another wave of police shows up, and Katia is struck during the crossfire. Since the mission is Black Ops, there's no backup, no rescue. Katia is put down by her own team before she can be taken alive. James throws a grenade to buy them time and suppress the police. When the smoke clears, only James and Mike are left standing. Mike's been shot in the leg. The police release dogs and start closing in. James and Mike ditch their gear, keeping only the intel drive. They move through a creek, swimming quietly until James finds an underwater tunnel. He tells Mike to hold his breath for 60 seconds. Then they both disappear beneath the surface. James drags Mike out at the far end. He checks the wound. It's bad. James mutters that shooting cops felt wrong, but Mike is cold about it. They did what they had to. Then Mike tells him to forget him and finish the mission, but James refuses to leave him behind. He rigs up a blood transfusion on the spot. After a while, Mike stabilizes, but now James is limping too. He's got a knee injury and can't walk properly, so he hands the drive to Mike, tells him to deliver it, and promises to catch up later. Mike agrees. He'll make the drop in Berlin and wait at a hotel. James sets his watch, 48 hours. Inside the tunnel, he patches himself up. Then he steps out into the open, covers himself in mud to blend in, and starts moving. He finds a hunter's car parked nearby, grabs some food and a change of clothes, and keeps going. Eventually, he reaches the hotel. The receptionist tells him his friend already checked in and paid for a room. James enters cautiously. The supplies are there, but Mike isn't. He checks around and finds a hidden note taped under the TV remote. It reads, "Delivery made. I'll be back at 10. By morning, James calls the front desk and asks if there's any message for him. The receptionist says no. Now he's uneasy. The 48 hours are almost up, and there's no sign of Mike. No update, no word. James steps outside and picks up a burner phone. He dials Rusty and tells him he's injured but stable. Then he asks the one thing that's been gnawing at him. Did Mike make it? Rusty's response stings. Mike never arrived in Berlin. James pauses. Something feels wrong. Rusty says there's an extraction team en route to pick him up from the hotel and take him to the airfield, but James doesn't move yet. He wants to know what happened to Mike. Rusty dodges it. He says they'll brief James once he's with the team. James shares his current location. Rusty tells him to head to a nearby bridge, pick up in 20 minutes. A brown BMW pulls up just like Rusty said, but something clicks in James's mind. If Mike never made contact, who organized this extraction? None of it adds up. He confronts Rusty directly, asks if he had Mike killed, and demands to know who they're really working for. Rusty loses it, starts yelling and cursing. That's all James needs to hear. The man he trusted is dirty. He tells Rusty that if he makes it out alive, he's coming for him next. James turns away from the BMW, but it's too late. Two motorcycles speed toward him. The riders open fire. The men from the BMW join in, turning the bridge into a war zone. James leaps off the edge into the river. Bullets chase him through the water. He keeps swimming. He manages to take down one of the bikers, grabs his weapon, and starts firing back, but the enemy is all around him now. He sprints into a tunnel that leads to the sewage system and smashes every light bulb along the path, plunging the place into darkness. Now hidden in the shadows, he waits. They come in, guns ready. James strikes first. It's brutal, close quarters combat, but he fights like a man with nothing left to lose. When it's over, James is the only one left standing. James soon learns one of the men hunting him was a former U.S. Marine. The Marine confesses their mission was supposed to be a simple extraction, but the ranch changed orders to eliminate James and Mike after pickup. Mike was already taken, which is why he never contacted James. The Marine thought he was saving lives, not killing his own team. He gives James the location of a safe house and the kill code, Tomahawk. Sending that code to the extraction team will make them back off, at least for a while. Exhausted and running on no sleep, James goes to Professor Salim's wife, Sylvie. He asks about the mysterious package Salim mentioned earlier. Sylvie tells him it's in a safe deposit box at the Swiss Credit Bank. James convinces Sylvie and her son to come with him. Sylvie goes inside the bank and returns with the package, an iPad. With some clues, James cracks the password, unlocking the tablet. He quickly parts ways with the family and calls the pickup number, giving the kill code. At dawn the next day, an SUV pulls up near his hideout. James stays on guard, gun raised. The man inside convinces him to lower his weapon, but the moment James steps in, he's injected with a sedative. Later, James wakes up in a safe house, hooked to medical monitors. A doctor explains how the ranch trains men like James and the Marine, men used as pawns to run dirty errands, kill enemies, and sometimes each other, all masked under the guise of national security. James watches a message on the iPad from Salim to his son. Salim had known his children would grow up fearless and dedicated his life to science. Powerful forces opposed his work, trying to twist it for their own gain. Salim's final gift to his son is the vaccine for the H5N1 virus. Low mortality, but a lifesaver. His hope is that the vaccine becomes freely available to the public, even if he isn't alive to see it. While James eats dinner, the doctor shares war stories from his own service days. He was a veteran too. Suddenly, a sniper's bullet crashes through the window, hitting the doctor in the head. James dives for cover and kills the lights. Crawling across the floor, he checks the doctor's pulse. He's gone. James spots a propane cylinder and hatches a plan. He lights a candle, opens the gas valve, and seals the gaps under the door with clothes. Outside, gunmen storm the house. James slips out through an upstairs window just before the propane ignites, turning the house into a blazing inferno. He grabs the doctor's vehicle and speeds off, crossing into Poland without trouble. From there, James boards a flight back to America. He rides his motorcycle straight to Mike's home, ready to tell Mike's wife the truth about her husband's fate, just as Mike had asked. But shock hits him. Mike is alive, playing with his son. Betrayal cuts deep, not only Rusty, but Mike too. James retreats to a safe spot in the woods, unloading his weapons and preparing for what's next. The next morning, James quietly follows Mike's car to find out what's really going on. Mike pulls into a public parking garage, and James trails him all the way up to the rooftop. Just as James steps onto the roof, Mike suddenly comes from the side, knocking him off his bike and pressing a gun to his chest. Mike demands why James showed up at his house and why he's been tailing him. James calmly takes off his helmet and says if Mike wants to shoot, he can go ahead. Mike says Rusty told him James never made it out alive. James fires back, asking if Mike knew Rusty sent men to kill him. He realizes all the talk about honor and loyalty was a lie. They were just after one big payday. Mike admits the truth. It was all about the money. James, furious, shoves Mike toward his car and grabs his gun. He tells Mike about the professor's work on a virus cure, something Rusty wanted to weaponize and profit from. Mike says James's family got a payoff, $4 million, but James himself can never go home. If Rusty finds out James is alive, he'll come after his family with everything he's got. James's anger boils over. The friends he trusted sold him out for cash. The betrayal stings deep. He suddenly thinks of his own father, who vanished after the military discarded him. James tells Mike this ends one way. Mike's car then rolls up to the ranch. They let him in without question. Mike steps out, greets some men casually, and then starts shooting. James jumps out too, fully armed, and opens fire. He maneuvers around, flanking Rusty's men. James bursts into Rusty's house, fighting off guards. Meanwhile, Mike gets shot in the abdomen by Rusty. James defeats the fighters and hunts down Rusty. Rusty fires again, wounding Mike further. James finds Rusty hurt and helpless. Without hesitation, James shoots Rusty in the head. He rushes back to Mike, who's badly injured. Together, they escape the ranch. But Mike's wounds are fatal, and he dies on the road. In a final act of respect, James cremates Mike's body. Back home, James watches over his family carefully. When the house is empty, he quietly calls his son. Well, that's the end of the story. How would you rate this movie out of 10? Let me know in the comments. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.